If you are someone who struggles with visualization, if SATS feels confusing, if you try to imagine scenes but they don't feel real, or your mind keeps wandering, or you simply don't know whether you are doing it right or not, then this day 5 video of Reality Architect series is exactly made for you. Because this series is not just information, it is a guided journey to help you manifest the life you want in 2026, step by step, day by day, with me walking right beside you, making this entire process effortless, clear, and practical. And today's lesson is one of the most important in the entire series. In day 5 of 2026 Reality Architect series, I am revealing 3 things, and these 3 things will completely transform the way you manifest. The very first, the complete truth about visualization and SATS. What actually it is, how it works, and Neville relied it on more than any other technique, so called. Number 2, the real problems people face while visualizing, why your scenes don't feel vivid, why your mind drifts, and why you can't enter SATS easily, and how to fix these challenges with simple adjustments. Number 3, and finally, how to do it properly, step by step, in a way that feels effortlessly and natural to you and immediately effective for you. If visualizations ever felt hard for you, if SATS felt mysterious and frustrating to operate, today you will finally understand it, and more importantly, you will finally experience it. And this is the day where manifestation becomes something you can actually feel, something you can actually do, and something that you can actually trust. Hi, this side Avit Bansal. I am an author and a life coach in the art of conscious living, what many people today call as manifestation. And my basic and main agenda of coming online on the platforms like Reddit and YouTube or here is just one thing: to spread the right awareness about the phenomena of life people call as manifestation. Visualization is not just seeing a picture in your mind, it is a deliberate creation of an imaginal act with the intention of giving it feeling, reality, and authority in your inner world. It is a state of being. So when you don't just think of your desire, you enter into the mood of its fulfilled wish. You contemplate the feeling, the inner atmosphere, the mental tone of this is true for me now. Yes, absolutely, for most people when they think about it, it looks absolutely similar to daydreaming on the surface. Because in both cases, you use your imagination to create scenes, but fundamentally these two things are worlds apart. In casual daydreaming, you imagine something, then you discard it. You treat it like a fantasy, sweet, entertaining, but not something you believe in. You discard it. But visualization, as Neville teaches us, is a daydream fused with conviction. It is a chosen imaginal act that carries a feeling, acceptance, and commitment. You don't throw it away after imagining it. You let it become the inner truth of life. So, visualization without feeling, acceptance, and commitment is just a daydreaming. And that's why Neville makes the distinction so sharply. So, when he says, in his word, the difference between feeling yourself in action here and now and visualizing yourself in action as though on a motion picture scene is the difference between success and failure. So, in just simple words, if you're watching your scene like a movie, like a distant, detached, external, just like watching a movie on screen, it will remain a fantasy. But the moment you feel yourself inside of it, living it, breathing it, and being it, your subconscious accepts it, and your 3D world begins to rearrange itself around that inner fact. Most people struggle with visualization. So let me address this once and for all. So visualization is not just some mystical gift reserved for just chosen few. It is simply an art. And like any art, it requires familiarity, patience, and practice. And these things which I am going to be telling in this video, most people won't tell you because they itself don't understand this fact. Think about meditation. No one sits down for the very first time and instantly becomes a monk. Meditation takes weeks, months, and sometimes years before the mind begins to quiet down. Visualization is exactly the same. Imagination is the creative power, but you must learn how to direct it. So when you first attempt it, you will be completely bombarded by your thoughts. Your scene will feel vague, your mind will drift, you'll get distracted again and again, and probably you'll feel like you're doing it wrong. And this is where most of the people get stuck. But let me tell you, you're not doing it wrong. Your mind is just simply untamed or untrained. Just imagine a wild horse. A horse that has never been trained, never been held, never been guided. If you try to ride it on the very first day, it will throw you off. Not because you are weak, but because it has never been trained. The horse. And your mind is the same. From childhood, just think about it, from childhood your thoughts have wandered freely, undisciplined, unobserved, unshaped. And now suddenly you want to use your imagination deliberately, as if you have been practicing it for years. Just like a wild horse. It doesn't work like that. For small and insignificant desires, visualization feels easy because there's no emotional pressure for it. But for the desires closest to your heart, that ones that matter, and the mind becomes restless, it trembles, it resists, and it doubts. And that is normal. That is absolutely normal. Just the way you train a horse, or just the way you build a strength at gym. You must train your imagination patiently, repeatedly, and lovingly. So Neville said it best in his own word. So Neville said, imagination is a skill that must be practiced daily. And in one of his lectures, he addressed the following question. Someone asked him, I imagined but nothing happened. So Neville said to it, in his own word, if you tell me you have imagined and it did not come to pass, I ask you, what are you imagining now? So he simply meant, don't stop imagining, because Neville understood it. Imagination, he himself said, is a skill that must be practiced daily. So you must have imagined once or twice. But you don't stop imagining. You don't stop returning to the scene, imaginal act. You don't stop practicing this art. You repeat the imaginal act night after night until it becomes natural to you. And it is really the process. It is the part of process. Until your mind becomes obedient. Until the scene becomes vivid. Until the feeling of wish fulfilled becomes familiar to you. And this is exactly what Neville demonstrated in his story of returning to America from Barbados. We all know the story when he went to the Barbados. But very few talk about when he goes actually back to America. He said that whenever his mind wandered away from the imaginal act, when he was trying to go back to America, he faced a similar problem. Very less seats were available, tickets were available going back to America. He did not panic or quit. He simply brought it back, his attention back again and again to the scene of walking up the gangplank of the ship. In his exact words, what he said, whenever my attention wandered, I brought it back to the act of climbing the gangplank. I kept on doing it until the imaginal act took the tones of reality. And that is the entire secret. No perfection, no force, no intensity, only persistence. Because Neville understood when he was trying to explain the manifestation and visualization. Our mind is completely untrained. Everyone talks about the success stories of Neville, but very few knows what he used to do. He used to meditate, he used to focus on his imaginal act, he used to train his imaginal act, his mental memory, and also his mental muscle, that what we call as visualization. He used to practice it, but very few people talk about it. And now I tell you, if you doubt this, whatever I have shared this, you simply observe yourself during the day. If you ever doubt this, whatever I presented you in this video, notice how easily your mind imagines unwanted things. How quickly it visualizes fear, doubts, worries, your arguments, and the things which you exactly do not wish to experience in the world. And you do it. Your mind is already visualizing constantly, just in the wrong direction. You exactly imagine the things which you do not wish to experience. This is how untamed, how untrained your mind actually is. So I say to you, you need to train it in the right direction. Repeat the imaginal act. Return to the scene every night, even if you're failing on the first try, second try, third time. You do it. Don't be scared if it doesn't work perfectly in the beginning. It is not supposed to. Just like the wild horse, it must be trained. And once trained, it becomes the most powerful force in your life. So Neville said, imagination is the creative power, and it is a gift unmerited by grace. It simply means everyone has it. Everyone can use it. Everyone can master it. Only persistence is required. So if you're listening to this, and if you have been trying visualization, I tell you, allow yourself to learn. Allow yourself to repeat. Allow yourself to become better at it. Because this is not just manifestation technique, it's a life skill. You train your imagination and life will obey you. Now let me add something extremely important, something Neville said and something I also believe wholeheartedly. Neville often reminded us that we experience this world usually through 5 senses, and this is really important for you. And very few people talk about it. Even though we all have 5 senses, each one of us has one dominant sense in us. One sense that is naturally stronger, more alive, and more responsive within us. We have 5 senses, but each one of us has at least one dominant sense, which is actually stronger than rest of the senses. For some people, it is the sense of smell. They can identify any fragrance instantly. For others, it is a sense of hearing. The musicians, singers, sound engineers who can recognize the slightest shift in tone. Some people are deeply aesthetic. They feel everything. The touch, the sensation are their natural language. Kinesthetic. And other are primarily visual. They easily see images in their own mind, like the scientist and the artist who draw designs on the paper or on some kind of a wall. So Neville said in one of his lectures, we are the creature of 5 senses, but each of us has more dominant than the rest. And this is crucial because when we imagine, we do not imagine all the way. Your dominant sense may be completely different from mine. And mine is completely different from thousands of others. And this is why some people can see perfectly in their imagination, while others struggles. Yet those same people can hear or maybe feel with extraordinary clarity than me or than you, or the one who can see imagination perfectly. And Neville made this very clear. He said, if you can give your imaginal act all the tones of reality, that is wonderful. But if you cannot visualize clearly, use the sense that is dominant within you. So, if you have heard all the Neville story, you will find that Neville himself had 2 dominant, strong senses. First is sight, and second is touch. And that is why in almost every success story he shared and spoke about seeing the scene and feeling the reality of it with his body or maybe his hand. So like when he returned from Barbados, he kept imagining touching the rail of the ship and feeling the motion of climbing the gangplank. It wasn't only visual, it was tactile. So he said, I felt myself on the deck. I felt the rail. I felt the sway. I gave the scene all the sensory vividness I could. And also in another lecture, Neville shared the story of a woman who worked in the world of music. Her dominant sense was hearing, not sight, just hearing. And she manifested beautifully by hearing a particular piece of music in her mind or hearing someone congratulate her with clarity. It was the sense of hearing. So Neville said, she did not visualize, she heard, and hearing was enough. And this is something people often ignore, but it is essential. If your visualization feels empty and you have tried everything, or maybe if your images feel weak or dull, it does not mean you are failing. It means you're trying to force imagination through wrong channel, through wrong sense. So identify your dominant sense. Which sense is your dominant one? So if you're not a strong visualizer, Use your hearing. Try it at least. Hear your friend congratulating you. I'm so proud of you for clearing the exam. If your dominant sense is touch, feel your specific person's hand in yours. Feel the warmth. Feel the weight. Feel the presence of it. If it is smell, smell the crisp scent of new money. Money has a very distinct smell. Smell your new home. Smell your partner's perfume. If it is taste, taste the celebration drink. Taste the success. Taste the moment of victory. If your dominant sense is kinesthetic motion, then feel the emotion of success. The ease, the joy, the relief. How would it feel like? Just feeling, nothing visualization. You must stop thinking visualization means only seeing. Neville never said that. He said imagination means experiencing the end through whichever sense is most natural to you. His exactly reminder was you feel, you hear, you touch. Whatever makes the scene real for you. So, whatever makes the scene real for you. So, don't be discouraged if your mental pictures remain blurry, even after practice. You have done the practice, you still feel that maybe it's not a piece for you. It simply means that your genius lies in another sense. So, use it. You must learn to develop it and trust it, because subconscious does not care which doorway you use. Either it's sight, sound, touch, smell, or taste. Only that you enter the state of wish fulfilled, that's what matters. And once you enter that state, even for a moment, so Neville said for it, the imaginal act, once felt, is a fact. So return to your dominant sense. Build your scene using the channel that feels most alive within you. And this is your gift, this is your power. And the power, anything can be manifested. So let's talk about SATS as well, the state akin to sleep. So Neville described SATS as a twilight zone, that delicate borderland between wakefulness and sleep. It is the moment when the conscious mind grows quiet and subconscious become highly impressionable. It is that moment. It is that twilight zone. So Neville said, it is a state where the mind is no longer dominated by the sense, yet not fully asleep. A very subtle state. This is the state people try to catch it so desperately. They want to somehow get into that twilight zone of SATS. They simply strain away. They simply force. They look for that perfect moment, as what Neville described it. And ironically, in trying so hard, they move themselves away from it. They become more aware of it. But it is actually a zone where your mind is very quiet. But in search for that particular twilight zone, they become more active. But SAT is not something you hunt for. It is something you flow into. Just listen to this. SAT is not something you hunt. It is something you flow into. It is the easiest way to enter it, as exactly what Neville said. So Neville said most of the things which are interconnected to each other. If you have read his one book and you have skipped another one, you cannot connect these two. And to understand manifestation, you have to learn or maybe read at least 80 or 90% of his work just to understand it. So Neville said, go sound to asleep in the feeling of wish fulfilled. Just listen to this. Go sound to asleep in the feeling of wish fulfilled. Not before sleep, not during sleep, but into the sleep. So here's the simple method if you have understood it. And this is what I do for everything I want in my life. And it never fails. So when you know you're about to sleep, maybe in 5 to 10 minutes, and maybe you're about 5 to 10 minutes away from drifting off into sleep, when your body is relaxing, it's just a signal you get it when you're tired in the evening, you're about to sleep. You know, maybe in 5-10 minutes you'll sleep. When your mind begins to soften, you'll notice that it's my time to sleep. You lie down comfortably, and in that moment just begin to imagine your scene. Don't hunt for that twilight zone. Simple as that. When you know you're about to sleep, you're tired, your day is over, just lay on the bed and start your imaginal scene. Just start it. Don't look for the time twilight zone. Not rushed, not forced, not perfect. Just do it. And keep on repeating that short scene for a couple of times. Enough to feel the mood of it, even a whisper of feeling of wish fulfilled, that is fine. Then allow yourself to drift into sleep while doing it. And in doing so, if you got that mood, that yes, my wish is fulfilled, just hold on to that mood and go to sleep. Don't be worried about anything of this world. Your motive should be, when I sleep, I should carry that feeling. And sometimes what happens when we go to sleep, we don't even remember when we slept. Similarly, when you know you're about to sleep, just start a scene, keep on repeating, and you wouldn't know when you will be sleeping again. So you don't have to catch the exact second between awake and sleep. You don't have to strain to enter some mystical state. You simply imagine it until seeing its slight emotional tone. And then you fall asleep over it. And that is all. It is not something you jump into. It is something you sleep into. It is a zone in which you simply go sliding into that zone, that twilight zone. You need to slide under it. So Neville said, do not concern yourself with the means. Enter the state and fall asleep in it. And this is the essence of SATS. It is not a technique but a yielding. So let me share you something, and which is really important about your imaginal authority. And this is something I want to tell you all who try to imagine but they fail. Just remember one thing. Know your power. In your imagination, you are the creator. So Neville said for this, the drama of life is determined by the imaginal activities of man. That means you must take the ownership of your inner world, your imaginal act. That is it. So right now, just think about it. If I ask you to imagine an elephant, you can do it instantly. There's no problem for it. Just imagine there's an elephant in the jungle, maybe in your room. You can do it. It doesn't have to be 4K or full HD. You can just imagine it. And if I ask you to make that elephant speak your words, you can. Because it is your imagination, your private universe, your creative workshop. You can do anything. So ask yourself, in a movie, can any actor disobey the director? The answer is simple no. Every gesture, every moment, every line happens because the director approves it. So how can it be that in your own imagination, the one place where you are the director, characters can run wild? How it is possible? Outcomes can go off script. How it is possible? The scene play out against your intention. How it is possible? They do only so because your mind is untamed, untrained, like a young actor improvising without direction. And this is why Neville said, your imagination is yours. No one else can interfere with it. Thoughts may arise, old patterns may show up, doubts may interrupt, but you're still the director. And like any other skill, your mind needs training. Be gentle with it. So if I today ask you to do 20 pull-ups, you wouldn't do it on the day one, or would you? You'll need practice. Your muscle needs time. And in the same way, imagination needs strength, consistency, familiarity, and discipline. So treat your mind with compassion, guide it gently, return to your scene lovingly, repeat the act without frustration. Because eventually the mind bends, eventually it obeys, eventually your imagination becomes the most loyal instrument for you. So Neville said it simply, you must train yourself to think from the state of wish fulfilled. And the best place to train, the most powerful place to train is SATS. That gentle twilight where imagination becomes creation. And what I have just told you 2-3 minutes back, how to enter it. You slip into it. So now let's come to the practical side of this video. When you open 2026 Reality Architect Series workbook, the guided workbook designed to help you manifest your desired life in 2026, and you turn to day 5, SATS and vividness, you'll find something very simple yet incredibly powerful. Only 2 pages. They exist just 2 pages, but these 2 pages carry the seed of your future. So Neville said, an imaginal act once planted is like a seed. It contains within itself the power to unfold. And that's exactly what you will be doing here in these 2 pages. You are planting the seed. So in these 2 pages, Your task is just to carefully craft your imaginal act, the one you will be performing consistently from now on. That is your work. And this scene will become your inner home, your inner reality, the place you return to actually at night after night. And this is what you have to do. So write down every element of your imaginal act in detail. And as well, your writing, just keep on working in your mind. Just imagine. You don't have to close your eyes, just write it down and you keep on imagining side by side. You can write what the scene is, what is happening in the scene, what you are doing in that scene, what you hear, what you feel, what your dominant sense is capturing, what emotions run through in that moment, what proves to you that your desire is fulfilled. For that, Neville said, make your imaginal scene as vivid as possible, but do not labor. Simply feel what would be like if it were true. So here's an example how you can write up in these 2 pages, and it is completely upon you. You don't have to follow this what I will be sharing. You don't have to follow this. It's just an example. So in this, you can create a scene. I'm sitting in my new apartment in Mumbai or in some city, sunlight pouring through the window. I'm on the couch, relaxed, cross-legged, and I feel the fabric of couch under my palm, soft and warm. I hear my friend's voice on the video call saying, "Congratulations, you finally did it. I'm so happy you. How are you?" And I look at the framed certificate on the wall that proves, or some symbol that proves that I've achieved what I wanted. Emotion, a deep feeling of satisfaction, relief, joy, the pride it rises in my chest. My body feels light, my breath is calm and full of confidence. Dominant sense, if in case this is my hearing, I'll hear the congratulations. And proof of fulfillment, I smile and say, yes, it is done. Like, I succeeded. I know it would happen. You say to your friend. And you finally, your mood is completion, your gratitude, the feeling this is my life now. So if you repeat this, you will notice you are engaging every sense possible. So in doing so, you will know what is your dominant sense. And this is just an example. You can write on your own scene. And as you write it, you must feel it. Let the words guide your imagination. Let the scene become alive. Let the mood settle into your body. Because when you write it and simultaneously imagine it, you are doing 3 powerful things. You set your intentions clearly. Your goal is very clear. Neville said, know exactly what you want from life. Number 2, you bring your desire from chaos into very good structure, like an architect. Third, you imprint the seed into the subconscious mind. Clarity is power. So Neville said, to desire a state is to have it. But you must know what your state is. And this exercise gives you that knowing. Once your imaginal act is written, you will practice it daily and return to it every night in SATS. And return it to the day, maybe in the moments of your quiet. So let it be your inner identity. And remember, magic is not doing it once. The magic is in persistence. So Neville said, persist, and that world will respond. For all creation is finished, and you simply move into the state you occupy. So before we meet next time, in day 6 of Reality Architect series, I want you to do one thing. Craft your imaginal act. You write it, you feel it, you practice it and persist. The seed you plant today is the future you will walk into tomorrow. Until then, become the architect of your own reality.